All right, and we're back, dude. This is the first weekly recap show of this season. So what's going on, Kamish? How you doing, bro?
Doing good. I thought I was taking that L last week, but man, what a roller coaster last week was, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Listen,
All across the board, honestly.
yeah, I agree. Week one's kind of that just like put it together, figured out, fuck it kind of week because, dude, I thought for sure that I
No
had
one
Cam
knows.
dead to rights for a little while.
Yeah, no one knows what's going on week one. You just gotta set your cards and just pray.
Yeah, honestly, that's what I was doing. I thought for sure that I was gonna get like smacked around, and then I looked and I was up by like 15 or 20 at some point. I'm like, no fucking way. So, all right. Well, yeah, this is the first show. So, welcome to the weekly recap show, guys, for P Town Fantasy Football. Got the hostess with the mostest, TuAnon. We got Kamish over here on my right, the big Tua.
Yo,
Sup? So, when I was driving back from West Palm yesterday, I threw in the chat. I was like, hey, put some hot takes in there and we can kind of talk about them first. So, you guys put like a few in there. And what Lur and I are going to do, we're gonna do like the old ESPN, like overreaction, not an overreaction. Like no matter how stupid the text was, we're just gonna roll with it, right? So, all right, the first one we got was from RJ, and he said that TuAnon is the worst team in the league. Fuck you, dude.
they're
Fuck,
coming out straight shooting.
fuck you, dude. I'm really working hard to get a good running back situation going here. So,
Yeah, you got
all
cucked.
right. So, what do you think? Is that an overreaction or not an overreaction?
I don't know, man. Mike's team is not looking as bad as we thought it was, so that might not be so much of an overreaction.
What for
I
me
mean, I
being
don't
the
want
worst team in the
to.
league?
I mean, only because like you said, I mean, your running back situation. Pacheco's running backs out of Kansas City. It could be good, although, because the receivers apparently don't know how to catch the ball, so they might start running the
Yeah.
ball more. So that actually might work out for you.
Kadarius
Uh,
Toney might not wake up tomorrow.
you might not. And then Dobbins going on IR. That's just, I mean, that's just shitty. Nothing else. Nothing else
Yeah.
you can really say about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about my shit stack of a roster when we do the recap. So you're saying it's not an overreaction for me being the worst team?
As of right now, I'm gonna say no. It's not an overreaction.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna
Because I might be there
I
with
mean,
you.
huh?
I might be there with you. It might be you and me in the toilet bowl.
Listen, dude, if we're battling it out for the Sacco, then we're gonna get it going.
Be
So
like the look of the podcast.
the two podcast hosts have the worst team in the league. It's just it's awesome. I'm gonna say it's an overreaction. This is my team we're talking about here. I'm gonna make sure it works. And listen, I'm open to any trades because if you look at my roster, I'd say my wide receivers are pretty nice.
Receivers are good.
Yeah, I've got solid depth at receiver. So anybody who's a little bit stronger in running backs and then needs help in receivers, like dude, Mike Williams is going to be on my bench like the majority of the time. So anybody wants Mike Williams, that's number 2 out there, hit me up. DMs are open, guys. So, all right, we got overreaction from me and not an overreaction from Tyler. Yeah, I don't think I'm cracking top 4 this year, but we're all good. We're all good. We're all good. Okay, the next one is actually about you, big dog. You put in the chat that Big Tua is going to the bowl, and you just said on a live recording that you might be competing for the Sacco with me. So you're saying that statement is an overreaction from your own mouth.
No, I'm the manager of my own team. I can't willingly say I'm going. I'm going to the Super Bowl.
You
I'm going to the Super Bowl.
you just talk shit about your team on the
Yeah,
podcast.
right now
Yeah,
it's in shambles, but 2 months from now might not be.
yeah, yeah. So you're saying that's not an overreaction, is what I'm getting at.
I mean, I'm going to be biased, so I'm going to say
Yeah,
no.
me
It's
too. Me
not an
too. I
overreaction.
feel you. To be completely frank, I haven't even checked your lineup. Let me see what you got going on here before I kind of
Well,
give
Aaron
my.
Rodgers is out for the year, so
Yeah,
my
that's
number one pick is now like a fourth round, third round pick. So
that sucks. So checking it out right now, I I'm gonna say that's an overreaction. Um,
sure most
listen,
people
I,
would agree with
I
you.
I love you, bro, and I'm getting my football brain back week by week. But just looking at this team here, I don't. I don't think it's Super Bowl material, but it is what it is. You got to start Tua. I'm sorry.
Dude,
You got to start Tua.
no, I'm not this week because Ravens had a stinky win. It was a stinky win. It was a stinky win,
Yeah.
and Bengals
Yeah.
completely shit the bed. So I'm betting on a shootout this week. And if Lamar shits the bed again, then he's on the block for good, and I'm rolling with Tua all in.
Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment. That's
And it's
definitely
Sunday
fair.
night against the Patriots. Like, I don't think that's going to be a high scoring game.
Dude, I'm so like I'm stoked we're on Sunday Night Football, but I'm so bummed that it's Sunday Night Football because I have a super early morning at work the next day. So
It's
like
the
I
Dolphins,
can't.
man.
I know. I'm
Work
gonna
comes
stay up.
second.
I'm gonna stay up, but like
Work
fuck.
comes second.
We got about
You're
13 new
Fins.
hires starting, but we're
Dude,
gonna make it
you
work.
just if any of them are not Fins fans, then you give them the most amount of work, and then everyone who is a Fins fan, you become boys with them.
You know what I'm gonna say when I get there in the morning? I'm doing introductions. I'm like, expect us, and then they'll totally get it. They're,
Dude, they
they're
might
totally
even
gonna get
hear
it.
you.
Exactly. Okay, the next one we got is from RJ, and he says he can't get an erection. So, is
That
that an
is definitely
overreaction or
not
not
an
an
overreaction.
overreaction?
It's an accurate statement, probably. So I'm going to say no. It's not an overreaction.
Okay. All right. I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to say that's not an overreaction either. Definitely not an overreaction, I guess. So, is that the only one? Those are the only ones we got. Yeah, that's pretty much that. That's all of them. I like that.
Yeah,
I
you
thought that
guys
was,
got to step your takes up.
yeah, honestly, I think this is something that we could do every week. If you guys liked it, then I mean, every time like before I record, I'll hit up the chat and be like, "Yo, guys, like put your hot takes in there. I'm gonna crack a beer real quick." Yeah,
Oh, okay.
there we
Okay,
go.
Brad.
Ooh, little
It's
chiller
on Bud Light,
latte.
isn't it?
You know,
Okay, Miller Lite. Now the Miller Latte.
I know,
Superb.
good old chiller latte vibes coming in hot. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the games. So you're gonna do three. I'm gonna do two. I'll let you start out with the matchups, and I'll kind of close it out and everything. And since it's early in the season, we don't have to do power rankings or anything like that. So we'll just talk
No,
about
we'll
the
probably
matchups, like
get
highlights from
into it
each
this
game,
week.
and kind of dive into it from there. So, all right, Kamish, the world is your oyster. After you, Mang.
About to crack that oyster.
Do
Starting
it.
off with the Beefcakes versus the Sir Lamington.
I like that
Sir
name actually.
Lamington taking the dub. Had a strong week. Had a very strong week. Deshaun Watson letting us know that with the proper off season training camp and everything, working his way into offense, the Browns look good. Their defense looked good. They might make some noise too. They might surprise some people. So I'll give credit where credit's due, man. That was a heady pick by Joey drafting Deshaun Watson kind of late in the draft. I'll give credit. CMC doing what CMC does. 25.9. ETN. I don't know why there was like a lot of like I don't know like backdrop almost, I guess you could say, about him this year with like bringing in the rookie Tank Gidsby, and ETN might lose some reps or whatever, but he
Mm-hmm.
dropped 21 points. I'm checking his stats right now. I am shitting the bed. He had 18 attempts. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. That's always going to be there.
That's a
DK
solid
kind of
carry.
have yeah, solid
Yeah.
workload.
Yeah.
Um, DK kind of having a weird 13.7. What were his stats? 5 targets, only 3 catches. Don't like to see that. I
Mm-hmm.
think the Rams destroyed them anyways. So it was just a weird week all around the board. Like CD Lamb had a weak game because Dallas's defense literally won the game for them. I mean, when they have 2 touchdowns and literally shut the game out, they're not going to throw the ball when they're doing that. So that's just kind of weird. This was an interesting one. Go Dirt, Goose Egg. Kind of glad I didn't draft him because I would have lost. So I don't I
Go
don't know
dirt, baby.
I don't know what happened there. Chris Godwin with 10, kind of expected. Although Baker looked good, the Bucks looked good. They upset the Vikings. Carlson with a slow 5, and Commanders was I think he picked them up on waivers. I might be wrong about that, but that was sneaky. That was a sneaky little take. So Joey's coming in at 119.
Well, I, I
QB.
want I want to say something real quick because when we were doing our like assessments of the teams, like ranking them before the season started, I told Joey to start Aaron Rodgers over Deshaun Watson. I am very sorry about that take, and I'm extremely happy that you didn't start him and listen to my bullshit advice. So
Yeah, that would have been
good on
detrimental.
you. Good on you.
That would have been detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
Jumping over to the beefcakes that weren't so beefy this week. Trevor Lawrence putting up 17. Still got the dub over the Colts, but had a mediocre game in terms of points. His running backs did next to nothing. The whole Giants, I don't think we're going to see that every week from Barkley. The Giants just,
No.
I think that first quarter kind of just took him out of the game, and they never really were able to find their footing to get back into it. The bright lights, I'm telling you, man, I don't know if I'm starting to like my players in the bright lights because it's been weird. It's been super weird. Cam Akers with 9 points and a win over Seattle. That one's kind
Mm-hmm.
of weird. A lot of talk about Kyron Williams going on right now. I don't know what's going on with that. Saint Slap had a great game Thursday night. Olave doing pretty much where we expected him to, around 20 points, beat
Dude, I
projection.
wanted him so bad.
Yeah, man,
So bad.
I think he's going to be the Mr. Consistent of this year, especially with Derek Carr, because Derek Carr is a
Yeah,
chucker, man. A chuck.
he is. I agree.
Uh, Everett not doing shit. Pretty sure he picked him up on waivers for the season before week 1 started. So yeah, I took the L there. Dotson with 9. Just Washington. I mean, what's the guy's name? Sam Howell on the Redskins. He looked pretty good. Looks like the Redskins could be doing some offense this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's week 1, so like you never know. McFearless was fearful. Uh,
McFearless, I like that.
yeah, he didn't do too much. He kicked one 40-yard field goal, but I mean that's not his fault. That's just the offense's fault. And
Mm-hmm.
then the Niners doing exactly what the Niners do, stomping teams and putting up fantasy points. So that is my recap of Sir Lamington and the Beefcakes. Sir Lamington taking the dub.
And I know we said we wouldn't do power rankings, but for what it's worth, Joey is in third place so far, and
Yep,
RJ is in seventh. So
7th.
there we go.
A lot of time. No
Oh my
need to worry.
god, we got what 16 weeks left, some shit like that. Crazy,
Yeah, stupid.
crazy.
Going into a closer game with Mr. Beefin and the Portland PPs,
Expect
we
us.
had Justin Fields going under projections, and honestly, I guess you could say that was kind of a shootout, 20-38. I mean, there was a lot of points scored. I don't think Fields rushed that much. See, threw the ball 37 times and rushed for 9 times. That's kind of average, I guess, for him, but only putting up 14 points. Nick Chubb basically hitting projections right on the money. Swift, 1.3, man. I just like I like the hype around Swift and everything, but like I
Mhm.
feel like he just doesn't. He's just not consistent, you know. He's now in like the committee on a throw first offense on the Eagles too. So that's it's kind of sus. Mike
And
Evans with 18. What are you gonna say?
I said, and Jalen Hurts is technically like a running back too, like in a
Yeah, you
weird way. So
bullshit.
you've got Swift, you've got Jalen Hurts, and then who's the other running back that they have?
Kenneth Gainwell, who I
Gainwell. That's right, Kenny Gainwell.
dropped.
Crazy, crazy. So
We'll
I was
see what
close to
happens.
drafting Swift, but I'm glad I didn't. So
He might come back. He might come back.
maybe, maybe.
Mike Evans, 18.6, doing, I think he led the team in receptions, so that's what you like to see. And especially if Baker keeps growing, I think is a good word to use Baker in the Bucks this season. That could be very, very solid for the PPs. And then Diggs, 26.2. It's like Allen only threw the ball to Whitehead or Diggs that game.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what made me
Allen,
nervous going into the final matchup was or like the final game was Diggs, and then I literally went to bed thinking I had this game won, and then I just wake up and he spammed Diggs, and I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah, he did. But honestly, if I'm
Yeah,
Cameron, that's honestly super encouraging to see because let's face it, Josh Allen had a terrible game. I mean,
yeah.
he was trying to dive into defensive backs, throwing picks down the middle of the field. Um, but he still got Diggs involved, so like Diggs is probably going to be this could be one of Diggs' best year yet, honestly. TJ Hawkinson, 11.5. Yeah, you kind of want more for him for where you drafted him, but I mean, 11 point anything double digits from a tight end you'll take. Christian Kirk 1.9, man. Calvin Ridley might be taking his workload. He might be taking his workload. Calvin Ridley looked insane. Looks like Calvin took the over on himself this week, so you might need to wait for those weeks for Calvin to take the under on him before you start Christian Kirk.
Yep.
Then you got the Young Ho hitting projections at 7 points. Can't
I
ask for
miss
too
my
much.
young ho, honestly, but
Yeah,
you know what? When you got a good one, you got to let her go. So,
Sometimes you do. And
yep,
then the
love
Bengals
hurts.
defense still put up 7 points while giving up 24 points to the Browns. So that's encouraging to see too. Shout out Jordan Battle, STA alum.
Mm-hmm.
Coming into TuAnon, or
Expect us.
I'll just do that now. Cameron is ranked fourth right now. So in the playoffs, if they were ended after 1 week.
But they're
TuAnon,
not.
but they're not.
But they're
Thank
not.
goodness. TuAnon at number
Expect
8.
us.
We're expecting him, but didn't expect enough this week as you lost by 1.04 points. How do you
I
feel?
expected too much.
Too
Expected too much of my team, I guess.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts, which is 12.5, and honestly a pretty good game with the Patriots. Let's check his stats real quick. He went 22. He went 22 for 33, so he completed 66% of his passes. Not too bad. Only 170 passing yards on 22 completions. So that's like, I guess that's like what is that? 6-7 yards per completion. That's kind of low. Didn't throw it too much. Only one passing touchdown. Got sacked 3 times. He rushed the ball 9 times, 37 yards. So
Yeah, I
he'll
mean
get more yards.
those design runs for him are going to be so key moving forward, and he's not going to do this every single week. I mean, he's going to get
Nah,
back to that like 20 performance every single time. So I'm not worried.
not yet at least.
Not yet. I haven't hit
J.K.
the panic meter
Dobbins.
just yet. Panic meter on the running backs, but
Yeah, panic buttons for like beginning of week 4, and you're still like not doing good.
mhm,
That's when you hit the panic button.
yeah, we're still
J.K.
feeling it out.
Dobbins. Hate to see it going back on IR as we've seen so many times before. Pacheco 9.4. Maybe they'll run the ball a little bit more since they don't know how to catch the ball. Keenan Allen 14.2. Kind of weird. You would have expected him to put up a lot more with the Chargers putting up 34 points in an absolute shootout with the Finns.
Well,
So
he should have broke 20 because he had that one touchdown that was called back, and then Mike Williams scored on the next play. So
Mike Williams, the vulture. I mean, he saw 9 targets. You can't really complain with that.
yeah,
Caught 6 of them, 76 yards. I mean, he'll get more if he stays in the games.
yeah,
And
he'll
then
eat.
Pittman looks like was your MVP this week. He had himself a day. What do you have? 11 targets, 8 catches, 73 yards, and a touchdown. That's a stat line you love to see.
And I think that's going to be Richardson's newest, like, new favorite target moving forward. So I'm like, I got to keep him in until this stops, and then I'll throw Mike Wallace in there. So we'll see.
Yeah, they're both youngins too, so if they get that chemistry going, that could be some game time energy right there.
I agree.
Tyler Higbee, I saw you sneak him on the waivers. 8 points. What are you gonna do?
I mean, I had
Debo's
to, like, once Kelsey dropped, I'm like, I got to get on there ASAP and get
sure,
the
yeah,
top
you had
rated
Kelsey.
tight end.
Completely forgot
So
about that. Yeah, you
yeah,
had Kelsey. You had to. Debo Samuel getting guess he's the number 2 guy over there. I mean, if he's going on the air and saying Ayuk's the better receiver than him, then that just is what it is. Ayuk might be a stud this year. He was a stud week 1. He could finish at the top 5 receivers, so that probably doesn't feel too good for you having Debo.
no, I figured Debo would do the same shit he did last year, and if he's going to average about 11 points per game, I
Not good.
yeah, I don't know. I have to figure that one out.
Might be a trade. Might have to hit
Could
you
be.
up.
Hey, listen, my whole roster is open for interpretation except for the likes of Jalen Hurts and Travis Kelsey. Everybody else, open.
I definitely do not want Graham Gunnell.
I dropped him this week. I had a Jason Sanders. So
He's a kicker who picked up the Q tag. I don't know what happened there. And Eagles D with 13. So yeah, you took the heartbreaking L. Not much to say. It's week 1. You never know. Things could change next week. Could stay the same next week. Who knows? And then
I got a good feeling about next week.
I do too. I like my
I got a good
matchup.
feeling about next week. Yeah.
Going in to the Fuddruckers V6 now. Damn, Blake, you're making us feel old every time that number goes up. Don't like to see that. Versus the Bijan dressing. Man, I kind of like that name.
I do too. It's creative.
3rd-round pick, 16 points. Don't like to see that. The Vikings will get their shit together, though. That was just like a strange game. It was a strange week. And then Miles Sanders kind of doing where he was projected to be, according to the analysts. Bijan showing everyone that the Falcons, dude, they might make some noise this year. They may make some noise, putting up 20 points while giving up 2 touchdowns to his committee partner too. So while he still had 20, that's kind of alarming. That
And guess who got
Algier,
Algier in the waiver wire?
yeah,
This guy did.
you may have to start him
We'll
if
see.
Bijan's just going to be like the workhorse down the field, and then Algier is just going to come and swoop him. I mean, hey, they'll both benefit. You know,
Yeah.
Bijan in the open field, he will run.
Mm-hmm.
So just can't really say too much there. Michael Thomas putting up 11 points. Um, well, Michael Thomas made it further in the season than Aaron Rodgers, so I guess that's a step in the right direction. That's
Anything
a
is a
pretty
step in the right direction rather than 4 minutes.
Sorry, Mr. Rogers. Anyways, jumping on Calvin Ridley, man, this guy was the talk of the draft, the talk of week 1, betting himself on the over. I said that earlier. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
steal that joke before it even gets good. But yeah, putting up 24 points. I'm checking his stats real quick. Trevor targeted him 11 times. He caught 8 of them for 100 yards and a touchdown. That's what you like to see in Mr. Calvin. Then you had Muth, who picked up the Q tag. That's not good. What's his Q tag? For his chest? Oh, he'll be fine. He probably just got hit in the chest. 7.3 points. Yeah, definitely want more out of there. AJ Brown, the first round pick, with 14.9. Yeah, it's just kind of a weird week for him. He had 10 targets, though. That's what you like to see. As long as you got those targets, just up to the receiver. Caught 7 of them for 79 yards. I mean, it's not bad, 14 points. I mean, you'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Butker with 8. Ravens with 11. Pretty strong week for Bijan dressing coming out of the gate. Coming out of the gate swinging.
Yeah. I actually have another hot take.
Uh-oh.
Hot take. So again, overreaction, not an overreaction. Bijan dressing makes the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
That
Okay.
so what do you think?
I think it's Kirk is gonna have his moments. If Bijan seems like he's gonna be a steady 20 plus every time. If Calvin really stays together, he'll be solid. AJ Brown will pop some 30 dubs every so often.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens D looked great. Butker's a solid kicker. Yeah, I could see it happening. I'd say the flex and Sanders might need to make a move here or there to make sure, because they'll may pop off for 20 plus like 2 or 3 times a year, maybe those guys. I mean, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say it's not an overreaction. But I think it's definitely possible.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same camp as you. We talked so much shit about this lineup after draft day that now seeing this performance and granted it's week 1 and that's why we're doing overreaction, underreaction. Like I feel bad about it. I'm gonna jump in the camp and say it's not an overreaction because looking at these scores and just like the players that he has on this roster, I'm like, listen, dude, Calvin Ridley, Bijan Robinson. I mean, we've already knocked this down enough, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the last 2 teams standing. So great job.
If Michael Thomas is still on the field in December, then I'd say he's definitely on track.
Mm-hmm.
And Miles Sanders, of course.
Yeah.
But hey, they could grow. Who knows? And then jumping over to the Fuddruckers, who had a lot of hype going in. A lot of people say he was going to be a Super Bowl contender, which he still might be, especially with Aaron Rodgers going down. That means Dalvin Cook and Brees Hall are going to get an even stronger workload. Josh Allen will figure it out. He'll be back to his 25, 30 plus games, I'm sure, in no time. Aaron Jones with the Q tag, with the hamstring, and he was not a participant today. That is not what you want to see. So that might, and those hamstring injuries, man, they can linger all year round. So that might hurt Blake in the long run. Deontay Johnson was the 7.8 after the Steelers' piss poor performance, also with a hamstring injury. Expected to be sidelined for up to 4 weeks. That's also not what you want to see. Blake just
Oh, yeah, no.
sure, man. Blake is just like an injury bug magnet. I mean, any player this guy touches just gets injured. I'm sorry, Blake, but like, I'm just saying it how it is. Like, wow, that is not what you
It
want to see
happens.
after week 1. I mean, like week 4 is like, okay, whatever, but like week 1, yikes. So not what you want to see from Blake.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And Justin Jefferson's on his team. not what you want to see. But Justin Jefferson at 24, and they still lost, so that's encouraging. Justin's going to pop for his 30, 35 games pretty soon, anyways. Stinky Pitts stinking it up as usual in a dominant performance. The team's dominant performance over the Panthers. I mean, Falcons might be a run first team, so Stinky Pitts might be doing a lot of blocking. So not what you want to see as a fantasy man. Oh, James Conner with the Q tag now. Oh my God, let me guess. Is it going to be he's got a calf injury.
What's the diagnosis here?
It's a calf injury. I think he's just going to be like
Calf injury. Yeah, he's
limited.
fine.
He was limited at practice today, so that's good that he's limited. Tyler Bass with 13. You love to see that. And one of like the most sleeper defenses the last few years, the Patriots defense only putting up 6 with the L to Philly. Kind of expected though because Philly's
That's kind of right where the projections were. They were projecting them around 6.5, and I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, I mean Philly's a
So.
high powered. They're a high powered offense. They're going to put up points. So
Oh
like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
that's expected. I wouldn't freak out on them yet.
No.
No, but I would definitely freak out on Jones and Johnson. Hamstring injuries are like the worst because it's always like, yeah, they're gonna play, and then they don't play, and then they re-injure it in the game, and then it's like, hate to see it. Christian Watson has a hamstring injury. I hate to see it.
Yeah. Shit
Then
sucks.
Brees Hall has a cute bro. Blake, how many Q tags do you have on your team, man?
Dude, who was the injured reserve affiliates last year?
Oh, that was
Was that
Marquise.
Mike?
No, that was Marquise.
That was Marquise. Blake, you should change your name from Fuddruckers V6 to injured reserve affiliates this year because you've got like 4 or 5 dudes with like tags next to him. I feel for you, buddy.
And he had Jacoby Myers on the bench, 29, who also has a Q tag. He's concussion protocol, so he'll be straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Blake.
That's fine. Concussions don't matter in the NFL. It's all good.
So Blake's lucky that he's got Jacoby Myers. Just like he could. I mean, it's week 1. You never know, but you can't ignore a 29-point performance. So subbing out Deontay could still be solid. So that matches up one of our higher scoring matchups, if not the highest scoring matchup of the week. In terms of total points throughout both teams, the Fuddruckers and the Bijan dressing sauce. Brad, take it away.
I got it. So important to note, Bijan dressing, number 2 in the league, and Fuddruckers V6, ironically, number 6. So there you go. Okay. I'm going to start off with the Homestead Honchos, AOSA, and then Better Call Big Al, so Rye against good old Marquise over there. So that's a number 1 currently, number 9, 1, 2. So I'll start with Rye's lineup. What else needs to be said about Patty Mahomes? Absolutely fucking nothing. He's just fantastic. So he was under projected. He was projected to get 23, but 19 is still like a solid day. Like you can't. Yeah, I mean, like you can't hate a 19-point performance. Like, could he have done a little bit better fantasy wise? Sure. Could he have beaten the fucking Lions? Sure. But it's Patrick Mahomes, and he's the best quarterback in the world for a reason.
Fingers weren't like covered in like butter from whatever the hell they were doing before the game, he would have had a lot more points. And the pick 6 too. That's 2 points right off the bat right there, plus all the other drops. So
yeah, I mean, Kadarius Toney is looking like JPP out there with no hands. So
stay away from the fireworks, Tony.
There were no fireworks to begin with. He just didn't have any hands. All right, so
I'm an idiot.
What was that?
No, I'm an idiot. Never.
Yeah, we all know that. It's okay. We love you anyway, Kamish. We love you anyway. All right, so moving on, we got Derrick Henry with 13 points, under projected here from the 16-point. I thought that did 6.9 for a second. 16.89.
Almost nice.
Almost nice. About 20 points away from a nice score. 13.9 for that. Ramondre Stevenson coming in hot with 14.9, under his projected 15.3. Amari Cooper absolutely shit the bed, though. Let's see what he had going on here. He only got 6.7 points. And the Browns look good. Like, the Browns look really good.
They're just running all over the Bengals. I feel like every time I looked at the TV, I just saw Chubb running down the sideline.
I miss Nick Chubb, dude. Who has Nick Chubb? I'll trade anybody in my roster for Nick Chubb.
Portland PPs do.
Hey, Portland PPs, let's make a trade, bro. Okay, so we got Amari Cooper over here with 7 targets, 3 receptions, 37 yards, only 1 red zone target. And that's pretty much all. That's all she wrote for Amari Cooper. We We got Jamar Chase, 9 points under his 18.3. Bro, what is going on with your receivers, Rye? Come on now. I have you going to the Super Bowl. I gotta look smart. Otherwise, I'm gonna get yelled at for not knowing ball. All right. 9 targets, 5 receptions, 39 yards. That's no bueno, for sure. Okay, then we have Juwan Johnson with 6.6 under his 10.36. Drake London. I just think that the Falcons head coach just hates anything that's good. Like, I mean, what Drake London was wasn't he like a first round pick?
Yeah, they're just not a throwing team, especially now that they got two like pretty solid backs. Like,
Yeah.
oh, he had one target, bro. I don't even know if that's the coaching at that point. I think that's just the QB.
I who's their starting quarterback? Desmond Ritter,
Yeah, Ritter.
right? Dude, the guy looks like he's on crack half the time anyway. Um, yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. One target is just absolutely insane for a first round pick. I don't think that's going to be the norm though. Like I think Drake London will pick it up at some
Yeah, they'll
point.
figure out how to stop the run, and then they're gonna have to throw.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. We got J Tuck. Everyone loves a kicker. 5 points. Sucked. He's usually automatic. But dude, your Jets defense absolutely just mollywhopping over here.
Yeah,
20
bro. Shut
points.
down Josh Allen.
20 fucking points, bro. That's awesome. I
I
got
think
hyped.
they got a touchdown for that. For that, was it the punt? Did they get a touchdown for the punt? Did they get points for a punt return or no?
Let me see.
I
They
might be
should.
capping. They did have a return.
Um,
They had a return. Oh, special teams. Yeah, the
yeah.
special teams had a touchdown. So that
Special teams. Yep. There you go.
at the end of the game in overtime.
There you go. Yeah, I was asleep when they won that game, so that's why I texted in the chat. I was like, "What's up with these fucking score adjustments, dude?" I didn't know that that they spammed
Yeah,
Diggs
man, that was a
on the
wild
last play,
game.
and that the Jets won on a walk off, essentially. Like
That was like
crazy.
a good defensive game.
It was. I watched. I think I watched the first half of it, but yeah, like even without Aaron Rodgers, like the Jets were still the Jets, but they weren't like the Jets. You know what I mean?
They weren't coming out slinging. They were just like a lot of running the ball. Brees Hall looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook looked the same he always did. And Zach Wilson did a good job. Like whenever because the Bills were bringing heat most of those plays. I mean, they were rushing like 4 or 5 guys every play,
Hmm.
and Wilson would just pitch it to the running back, and then he would just run for 15, 20 yards. He did that a good amount of time. So
Yeah.
yeah, Jets running backs right now, stocks on their rise most likely.
Stock up. Yeah, I wanted to draft Brees Hall, and then when I was watching the game on Monday night, I'm like, dude, this guy's a beast. Like the first
Yeah,
play,
it
he
still
popped off
is.
like 20, 25 yards. It was stupid.
Still has that explosiveness.
I know. Let's take a look at your bench real quick, Rye. So questionable, questionable, questionable. Mr. Brandon Ayuk, the number 2 ranked wide receiver after this week, dog, sat on your bench.
I mean,
Sat on your bench.
I would have done the same thing probably.
I mean, yeah, I guess like how are you supposed to know? But like it's also like Brandon Ayuk is not a bad receiver either. Like he's solid in and out. I mean, obviously you would expect him to be number 2 behind Debo Samuel. One would assume, but my dude popped off for 32 points. So yeah, it's one of those things where you gotta live and learn. You gotta live and learn.
It's a
Um,
must right now.
Anthony Richardson 20 points, and then we have Nico Collins with 14. So that is the overly drawn out recap for Homestead Honchos. But let's move on to Better Call Big Al. Joe Burrow with a big old stinky 3 points.
Damn, bro. He put up 136 points with his QB putting up 3 points. That's wild.
Yeah, crazy. So now I'm looking at Joe Burrow's card over here. He's only starting in 86% of leagues in
Bro, if people
NFL.com
think
going in.
this is going to be the new norm from Joe Burrow, then they're sadly mistaken.
No, no.
He completed 14 of 31 passes, bro. Like, this is the guy who just went to the AFC champ. I think it's the AFC Championship.
Yeah,
Of course, he lost, but
yeah,
still, I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes.
yeah. And I mean, maybe he had a hangover from signing that stupid contract on Saturday, like being the most paid, like the highest paid player ever in NFL history. Like, come on, you know. But yeah, 3 points for him. We got Joe Mixon with 10.3, solid. Well, no, that's not solid. He was projected 20. Never mind. Then we have Kenneth Walker with 10 out of the 14 he was projected. Then we got Devontae Adams, Mr. Taco Bell himself, with 12 points. Tyreek fucking Hill. I should have drafted his ass. Fuck Travis Kelce.
You're
44 points. Huh?
Should have been a no-brainer for you.
I know. You know what my thought process was when I was sitting there like getting ready to make the pick? I'm like, Riley had Kelce last year. And like Riley had a really good season. So I'm like, Kelce's available. He's a tight end and a wide receiver all in one. You know? Like it makes sense. And then he gets hurt. I probably wouldn't be saying this if he played week 1 because he probably would have had like a 20-point game.
He's probably going to play week 2.
Yeah, he will. I'm just.
I mean, you hyper-extended it, so like.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm just like. I'm just butthurt because Tyreek Hill put up 44 points and he's the number 1 ranked wide receiver. And I love Tyreek Hill. Either way.
1,000-yard season.
I'm looking at. I'm going to say probably like 2,200 yards this year. At the end, like once all said and done, he'll crack it by like 100, 200 yards.
As long as Tua keeps slinging it,
dude, he will. So then we got George Kittle with 4 points. We have Tyler Lockett with 3 points. Then we got Dicker the kicker, my favorite kicker, 12 points. Put up an absolute clinic because that was a barn burner between the Dolphins and the Chargers. And then Cowboys defense with a cool 35 points. Second, number 1 defense ranked right there. That's just stupid. 35 points from a defense. Absolutely love it. So we had the number 2 and the number 1 defense playing each other this week. Crazy. And then on the bench, nothing crazy.
I must say, this is like the stinkiest 136 points I have ever seen in a lineup.
I agree. It's just Tyreek Hill carried everything, and so did the Cowboys defense.
2 players had over 15 points, and one of them wasn't even a player. It was a defense.
Stock up on Cowboys defense, you know?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. All right. And then Riley's got Alvin Kamara sitting on his bench to let Sussie's over. So important to note there. All right. So I get to do your matchup. Here we go. Damn, this is close. Damn, I didn't even see this, man. All right. So we got the Brother Bowl. Big Tua against gang members only.
And Monday night was a nail biter.
Yeah. This one finished by a Puerto Rican pubic hair. 92.96 to 92.02 in favor of the Big Tua. So Lur sitting in 5th at 1-0 currently, and then gang members only, Lil Dill sitting in 10th. So Lamar Jackson, shit the bed.
I'm not bailing on him yet.
No, I wouldn't either. 6.5 compared to what he was projected to get at 20.8. Yeah, don't bail on him yet. I wouldn't. But you're lucky that you have Tua as your backup quarterback, though, for sure.
Right, so
yeah.
Trade bait or QB1?
Trade bait or QB1. Lamar Jackson, trade bait, QB1. Either way. Okay, then we got Alexander Mattson with 13.4. That's right where he was projected. Nice stuff. Tony Pollard popped off, 22 points for you. My dude, Devonta Smith, love this guy, 17.7. And then we have Garrett Wilson with 14.4. Evan Ingram with 9.9. Deion Jackson 3.8. Like everybody's underperforming here. I think you guys were one of the 2 lowest scoring teams.
It's a weird week. I mean, my kicker at 3 and deep. I mean, well, I probably should have known Dolphins defense going up against Chargers. That was going to be a shootout, but
yeah, I think everybody and their grandmother knew that was going to be an offensive.
I always got to have at least one defense player in my lineup. I just have to.
Yeah, that's why I got Jason Sanders. I'm like, listen, my name's TuAnon. I got to have at least one Dolphins player. So, but yeah, dude, on your bench, Tua popped off for 27 points. I mean, a historic performance from him. He's the number 1 ranked quarterback, mind you.
QB1.
Oos. 28 completions out of 45 attempts, 3 passing tutties, 1 interception, 5, and then rushing, he had 5 attempts for 5 yards. And I mean, that's my QB right there. I just had to talk about him. I'm not going to talk about a bench, but like, you know, that's my guy. Oos. All right, moving over to gang members only. We had Justin Herbert with exactly where he was supposed to be. 20.92 points. Austin Eckler the undisputed best running back in the league as of right now. 26 points. I mean, that Dolphins defense had gaps bigger than an adult porn site. Like, come on.
Oh,
That was just something that, I mean, Vic Fangio needs to get it figured out. That was abysmal. That run defense on Sunday was absolutely abysmal, but they stood up when they had to. So,
yeah,
you know,
man. Offense won that game for sure.
offense won that game, defense sealed it. Then we have Josh Jacobs with 9 points, under projected from 16.68. T. Higgins, 0 points. What happened to you, bro? Did he get hurt?
No, the Bengals just
Eight targets.
couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, the Bengals were in. Yeah, they were still hungover from Saturday, where you mentioned that. 8 targets, no receptions. Damn, T. Higgins. What are you doing, bro? Jalen Waddle, 11 points. Darren Waller with 6.6. Brandon Cooks with 4 out of his what he was supposed to get at 14. Jacoby Myers with 8, beating the projection by a point, and then Bills defense with 5. On the bench, no one really popped off. Kenny Gainwell got 11, but he's out. What happened to Kenny Gainwell? Rib injury?
Oh, oh, damn, bro. Swift is probably gonna feast Thursday night then.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Okay, so I don't know if this is breaking news. Definitely not breaking news. But if no one else knew, Kenny Gainwell has been ruled out for Thursday's game against the Vikings. So
Oh,
cross your
that's
T's,
breaking
dot your
news.
I's, little Dill. Cross your T's, dot your I's. Make sure that. Well, I mean, he's on the bench anyway. It doesn't matter. But whatever. So, all right. Yeah, man. So pretty solid week one. I mean, this is like I mentioned, this is the figure it out kind of week. You know, trying to feel out your lineup and not hit the panic button just yet. And I'm also trying to talk myself down, but like not hit the panic button just yet.
Yeah, Brian. Apparently, you're gonna be one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah, apparently, I'm gonna absolutely suck ass this year. So, which reminds me, I'm gonna pay you on Friday. I gotta pay my dues still, so we're on it. But yeah, shit, man. Week one's in the books. So if we have any sort of breaking news or any type of like trades or anything like that, I'm gonna hop on here and do an emergency pod. So I got you. Is there anything else we wanted to touch on from week one? I mean, we did the hot takes. We talked about all the matchups. We're coming on about 45 minutes here.
If we got 5 minutes to spare, I think I'm calling an audible here. We'll make it very quick. Let's just prediction for winners for next week.
Oh, okay, cool. I like that. Let me go to the matchups real quick. Let's go week two.
My God, bro, Dylan has a lot of questionables for next week too. What the hell?
Scoreboard.
All
Okay.
right, I'm gonna go first with game members only versus Broward Beefcakes.
Mm-hmm.
This one's a tough one, man. This one's neck and neck. I'm going
Literally
to
the same.
go. Man, I really want to agree with Dylan because he's my bro, but I'm gonna just go with RJ only because the lack of Q tags on his side. Dylan has a lot of Q tags, so that's alarming.
Yeah.
Who
Hmm.
you got?
Oh, okay, so we're doing it that way. We're taking both games. All right. So in that matchup, let's see. I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. I'm looking at Dill's lineup right here, even though I just read it. Too many Q tags. So I'm gonna go with beefcakes, beefcakes for sure. But that
Just so I
projection
can
is like right on point, man.
neck and neck.
118 to 118. That's nuts. So that's a
Maybe a no
50-50
biter.
toss up. Toss up.
What do you want to do next?
Let's go ahead and jump to let's do a Better Call Big Al and Portland PPs. So I'll take that one first. I 100% am gonna actually call. Hold up, let me look at the lineups real quick. Let's go Joe Burrow, Devontae Adams, Mark Evans. You know what? ah, you know what? I'm calling for an upset here. We're going Portland PPs over Better Call Big Al. Justin
Really?
Fields, Nick Chubb, those two fuckers about to pop off. Pop off.
No, I don't think so, man. Joe Burrow is dropping 25 plus next week, guaranteed.
You think he's
I think
pissed?
at least. Yeah, I think he's. I would be pissed too if I was the highest paid performer in the NFL and
Yeah.
I did a backup's job. I would not be happy either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
I
going
agree.
with Better Call Big Al, especially since they're playing. Dallas is playing the Jets, who just lost Aaron Rodgers, and that offense is obviously in shambles. Cowboys are going
Mm-hmm.
to feast again next week. So why
Crazy
everyone giving me
talk.
shit for wanting the bench of Garrett Wilson? Fuck y'all.
Hey man, Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I mean, but
See
dude,
what
the catch he had though, that's what I'm looking at. Like the
I know,
catch,
but how many times does the ball get thrown to him? And the balls that were thrown to him,
he
bro, the
caught
guy
them.
had 2 seconds to make a choice.
Yeah,
He had
yeah.
he didn't even have Micah Parsons in his face. Wait till he does next week.
You're kind of making sense. All right, let's move on to the next matchup. So we got let's do Sir Lampington the third against Fuddruckers V6. Who you got?
Picking Sir Lamington again
Yeah.
because of the Q tags on the Fuddrucker side, and Browns look like they're the Browns and ETN look like they're ready to show up. So and that's what I said in the before the game started. I said I think Joey's season is going to come down to Deshaun Watson and how he performs. And I mentioned ETN too. If ETN and Deshaun Watson have good weeks, Joey's team's going to be insane. And looks like that's how it's rolling out.
Yeah, no, I'm in complete alignment with you on that one here. Joey just puts out solid lineups like year after year, I feel like. So, yeah,
He's always in the mix.
he is. He is every single time. Every single time. My dude knows ball. He's great. I can't wait to have him back on the pod whenever he wants to come on. But yeah, Sir Lambington the third. I'm picking Sir Lambington over Fuddruckers. Sorry, Blay. Fuck you, Blay. All love.
All right, let's go into a host game. Bijan versus TuAnon.
Ooh,
And you are projected to wipe the floor with him. I'm
let's
trying to
go.
see where. Oh, Bijan Robinson only projected 10 points. That's why. I don't know what's good there.
Nothing's
This
good
one's going to
there.
be tough, man. This one is going to be tough. I'm going to go with you, Brad. I'm going to go
Oh,
with you
thank you.
because I think Jalen Hurts is going to bounce back. I mean, Philly, Minnesota Thursday night, that game potentially could be a shootout. That could be a very high scoring game. I
What do we
think
say about
after
Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts is good.
Jalen Hurts
Mm-hmm.
is good. As much as I don't like the Eagles, Jalen Hurts is good.
Fly
And
Eagles fly.
with the Chiefs not being able to catch a ball, I think they're going to get Pacheco involved a lot more. So I think you got that going for him. And yeah, Kelsey might be back. So yeah, I'm taking TuAnon.
Ooh, gracious. I'm not going to pick this matchup just because it is me. So
Yeah, I feel
yeah, I appreciate you, brother. We're going with it. Rolling with it. Expect us. All right. So then we got who's left?
me and our Finns.
Ooh, there we go. Okay, let's take a look here. You're not picking your game, so it's just me.
Yeah,
Um, shoot. Riley's projected to win. You're
my
number
team's
five in the
horrendous.
league. Not that
I
that
have Gabe
matters.
Davis in my lineup.
yeah. Yeah, no, that and yeah, I'm gonna pick I'm gonna pick my bro over here. We're gonna go with fucking Homestead Honchos, AOSA. They coming for your ass out
Homestead
there.
Honchos,
Homestead
man.
Honchos, broski.
Get your
They're
Santa Rosas in Miami and get yourself a cafe con leche with the carne empanada.
oh, you know it, brother.
Muy
You
bien, muy
know it.
bien.
You know it. So yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're projected to lose by 10. I'm calling it 20.
Hey, man, all I have to say, Lamar is going to remind us. Lamar is going to remind us.
You think?
Dude, Baltimore, Cincinnati, Sunday at 1 o'clock.
But listen, like
I'm,
you said, like you said with Joe Burr, you know, like I think they're here. They're gonna get pissed, and they're gonna win.
I don't care who wins. I need it to be a competitive game so Lamar gets some points on the board.
Yeah, I'm saying like Bengals defense will probably show up a little bit because they didn't last week.
Yeah, Ravens had a really stinky dub last week. I mean, Lamar was like fumbling. He was like throwing picks. Like
Mm-hmm.
the defense won the game for him that last week. So I
Yeah,
think Lamar. I think both QBs are gonna have a chip on their shoulder, and I think it's gonna be a great game.
I think so too. I mean, the whole like 20-point thing, I was just fucking with you. I think it's going to be closer than what it says, just because Lamar Jackson, I do agree with you. He could pop off. Devontae Smith as well. I think Devontae Smith is going to have a really solid game too.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
excited for tomorrow night.
yeah, tomorrow night's going to be a really good game. Really good game. I won't be able to watch. I'm going to be in Fort Myers going to the Thomas Rhett concert. So no
Oops.
football tomorrow night, but it be what it be. So
Hey, when you don't watch your teams, they usually do better.
I know. I mean, I'm going to be checking my scores all the time. You know
Dylan
it.
tried that shit. He told me he didn't watch any of the game Monday night, and he fucking almost won.
Yeah.
Little
There,
cunt.
there's something behind it for sure. Okay. We ran through all the games, did our hot takes, coming up on 50 minutes. I'd say it's a solid episode.
Very solid pod. Not too
Solid.
long. Got a
Solid.
lot of content in.
Yeah, and you know what? I'd say you and I, we're in mid-season form, baby. Week 1, we're already in mid-season form.
Back like we never left. It's not like
Never
I've been
fucking
thinking about fucking fantasy football for the last 2 months every single day.
left.
My team is still a pile of shit.
I I agree. I agree. Oh, we'll have to
Damn
see
it.
what happens. But all right. So next week we're going to be recording on Tuesday night because we have a special request from Marquise to be on the show. So next week's guest will be Marquise. Um, I have a sign up sheet. If you guys want to go ahead and hit me up for that sign up sheet for each week, I want to have people on like Laura and I. We vibe one on one, good vibes. But we want to have other people on the show too. So like Riley can go on one week, like whomever. I want Joe to come on the show again because Joe knows ball, you know? So let's get everybody on the show at least once this year, and we'll kind of take it from there. But yeah, I'll drop the sign up sheet in the chat, even though you told me not to, Commish, but I'm going to do it anyway just because I can.
You know how these kids are, man. You
Yeah,
can't
I know.
freaking can't get them to put their own name on a piece of paper
That's true.
sometimes.
But this is fantasy football, and I get people text me all the time like, let me be on the pod. Let me be on the pod. Well, now you get your chance because you're going to get to sign up for the week that you want to be on. Just saying. So, all right, this is a good time to go ahead and sign off. So, hey, appreciate you guys. Good luck going into week 2. If there's any trades or anything that happens before, I will catch you guys on Sunday for football night in P-Town and then hit you up on Tuesday night for the weekly recap with Kamish and Marquise. So, bang, bang. Peace
Big
out, nerds.
Al.
Big Al. Peace out, nerds. Bye.
Peace out, nerds.
And it's
So
stopping.
okay, it's probably recording right now.